It's your guy, Fox Wade, and welcome to the Action Moves podcast. Here, I'm going to be interviewing a really dope person, a really dope entrepreneur in their industry. Matter of fact, they're in multiple industries. So what I want you to do right now, before we get going, I want you to subscribe because I want you to make sure that you're keeping up to date with some of the dope content that we have coming out. But I also want you to put those phones on mute, and I want you to give me your ultimate focus over the next hour to learn about this unique individual and the things that they're doing in their industries. All right, so my special guest for the day is Mr. Terrill Patterson, and let's go down the list here. So, born and raised in Flint, Michigan. All right.
Kinda Pontiac and then Flint, yeah.
Okay. Relocated from Michigan to Georgia. Right. Came down here. Was in the acting industry for a little while, and decided to make a pivot or to conduct an action to get into another industry that a lot of people don't even know about. And that is supplying bartenders for special events.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it.
Yeah. From Michigan, came down here one day. I was going to Eastern Michigan. Went back home for a little bit. Got into a little trouble. And then a couple of my friends were down here in Georgia. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go visit you. I remember this to the T. I went down to go visit. I had two Nextels. That's when Nextels was popping. It was a yellow one and it was the gray one. So I had two of them and I sold them for like $60 a piece. And then I bought a bus ticket to go visit my friends at Greyhound. And I ain't had no bread, so I got, they had Whoppers, 2 for $5. So I grabbed 2 Whoppers for $5 and jumped on the bus, bro. Came down. Took me like 16, 17 hours because it's the bus. And I got here, and as soon as I got off the bus, my friend Chad picked me up. And I got a job. On the way to the apartment, I got a job at Moe's and a job at Zaxby's. And then I got to the apartment, and then that's where I was at, right? After about 6, it was like 5 of us in the crib. I was only supposed to be there. First of all, I was only supposed to be there just to hang out. But once I got there, I said, I'm not going back. I'm not going back up there. So I got the job. And then I stayed. I never went back. I was only supposed to visit. And then I started serving for a while at this place called Strip, Atlantic Station, for about 8 years, 9 years. Funnest years. But after that, people were calling me to, like, on New Year's Eve to bartend, right? But I'm only one person. I can't just, be at multiple places. So I started sending my friends instead. And then I'm like, well, I think I can start staffing bartenders. So then I started sending them out on New Year's Eve. And then it started getting a little bigger. That's how it started. I don't want to go into everything. I don't know if we got that much time. But that's exactly how I got from there to here and started the company.
So you were working at Stripe, and what was Stripe?
Strip. It's like a New York strip. It was a steakhouse sushi bar in Atlantic Station.
At Atlantic Station. And so what were you doing there?
I was a server first, and then I worked my way up to a bartender.
Okay. So you bartending, and then next thing you know, right, over that time period, because you were so good at what you were doing, that people will look at you and be like, hey, I need your help. So there was like a demand for that services. And you was like, wait a minute, hold up. I can put into action an actual business model to be the supplier of bartenders for more events. And was this across Atlanta? Was this Georgia?
It was just Atlanta. And at the time, I really wasn't even thinking of it as like a business move like that.
Yeah.
It was just, I could make a couple dollars and send my friends out and they can get paid. And when I was working at this place called the Glen Hotel, it was just so boring. It was so dead that I made a little GroupMe. It used to be an app called GroupMe. I don't know if it's still here. And I put like a list of dope bartenders in there. And I made, what was it called? I can't remember the name of it, but it was like an underground society for bartenders. You're in this app. If you're at work, you can text, I'm working today at Strip, and like 10 or 12 bartenders will pull up and everybody will tip each other and make some money. But the big caveat, the big thing with that is you couldn't be a manager or a server to be in there. You couldn't be in there. Like, we wouldn't let you in. But then that started to grow, and then that's how I ended up with a bunch of staff. And I was just sending them out, but I still never thought about making it like a company for like the first 2 years.
So let me ask you this question. So these people that you sent out, right?
Mhm.
They didn't work for whoever you were sending them to. They were kind of augmented for whatever particular event that you had.
Yeah.
But you got paid from the client or the customer, and then you made sure that. So basically, you kind of started a staff augmentation firm.
Didn't even know it.
Didn't know it.
Didn't even know it.
Let's kind of go back a little bit. So, how was Terrill as a kid? Let's go back to Flint, Michigan, right? Flint, Pontiac. Tell us about that. Tell us about your, mom, dad growing up. Did you have siblings?
Dang.
What was your interest? You know?
Yeah, so I have a mom and dad. Okay. My mom's from Inkster, my dad's from Pontiac. They got together, and then we moved out to Grand Blanc for a while, right? And then I think I was a fun kid running around. I had an older brother.
Okay.
So there's two of us.
How older?
4 years older. His name's Preston, right? So we had moved from Pontiac, right by Pontiac Northern, down into Grand Blanc. We're like in the front page of the Flint newspaper said changing places in Grand Blanc, because like the first like black families in there, right? So since I had an older brother, we just used to we used to just fight all the time because we didn't know nobody. It was a bunch of straight. It was no black kids out there, so we were just fighting. And I think I was a very helpful kid and always cared about other people. But I was bad. I was a little bad.
What you being?
A little bad. I was running around I was doing shit, getting in fights. Fight my brother all the time. We had a creek in our backyard. This before I moved, right before I moved to Flint, right?
Yeah.
We had a creek in our backyard. We used to go down there and put like the little G.I. Joes and the boats and stuff like that, and put those down there and catch the toads and all that stuff, or jump the creek.
Yeah.
All right, we did this thing. It's crazy. After we started knowing everybody, because we're brothers, it used to be like 7 kids on one side, 7 kids on the other side. We used to have rock fights.
So you wasn't bad. You were just being a boy.
I was being a boy.
Yeah.
That was outside of being a little, I used to get disciplined. Disciplined a little bit.
But you were being a boy.
Being a boy. There we go.
He was being a boy. I mean, we always do that. Rock fight. There was always a rock fight.
There
Every
was a rock
neighborhood
fight.
you had a rock fight.
BB guns, shooting each other, pump it one time,
How was Terrill in high school?
I was cool, man. I was playing sports. So my parents used to keep me in sports and doing something all the time. So I really didn't have time to do like too much anything. I just went to school and did sports. And then, I guess I was cool. I was always cool with everybody. I made sure people didn't pick on other people. I was never the biggest person, but nobody, I guess, coming up, doing all the little fights in, elementary school and all that stuff, you don't have to fight when you get older and stuff like that. Plus, I was cool. So I just didn't let people pick on other people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was your biggest interest in high school?
Dang. I guess wrestling, because I was wrestling. Here's the thing. So my parents divorced, and then I went to Flint Northern, right?
Mm-hmm. And how old were you when they divorced?
I was younger. I don't know, maybe like 13 or something.
Okay.
No, wait. I don't know, maybe like 10 or something like that. And then we had to move like a couple years later.
And you stayed with who, mom or dad?
My mom.
Okay.
So they stayed together, and then when I got going into high school, well, first year of high school, then we moved to Flint Northern. And here's the crazy thing is I never got to talk to my high school counselor. So when you ask that question, like what did I really want to do, kind of in a sense, I never talked to a high school counselor. And then when I got there to Northern, I don't know how other people's experience was, but they didn't talk about going to college and stuff like that at all. So I wasn't even thinking about college until like 2 weeks before graduation. Yeah. I'm like, what? Like, no question about it. nothing. And it was
Yeah.
just like, now that I see I got kids that went through the process, now it's like, oh, they were supposed to be talking to you in like freshman year and
Yeah.
guiding. A guidance counselor is supposed to
Yeah.
guide you through, not just like guidance in life. I know.
So
Sounds
so
messed up.
so how was that like growing up in Flint? You know,
It was different.
Flint's one of those places to where was always in the top 10 in homicides or crime per capita.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Flint water crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You had where General Motors and all these other different manufacturers used to be the heart of it, used to be
Mm-hmm.
the bloodline of the city, and then they end up picking up and relocating down to Mexico. And next thing you know, crime just skyrocketed. And
Mm-hmm.
now you're hearing, in today's market, it's like kind of looks like a ghost town now.
Man, it looks bad. Here, I have a totally different experience, right? I say I was raised on both sides of the fence, right? So I had a really good educational background all the way up until I went to Flint Northern, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to Northern in Flint, me being the new kid there too, it was way different. So
What
I got
grade?
picked on and stuff like that, but
What
I held
grade?
my own.
What grade?
Ninth grade.
Okay.
Well, ninth grade going right before 10th grade.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, 10th grade, right when 10th grade started.
Okay.
And I was a new kid, so I had to hold my own. And it wasn't like I didn't have no brothers, I didn't have no family, but I did have some friends. My friend Brandon, all his cousins lived right by Longfellow. So them the only people I knew. So it's kind of like, woo, I got somebody here.
Yeah.
So I had to hold my own. It was very different going from suburban life straight to Flint, and the adjustments was crazy. The first thing they said was when I got to high school and I walked through the metal detectors. I was like, what the metal detector? When I walked through the metal detectors, we spoke to the principal. He's like, it's real strict here. I said, okay. He's like, 5 absences, we call home. I was like, what? If it's like 12 absences or something like that, then you get suspended. I'm like, I was in Grand Blanc. You get a tardy. They calling your parents like, why is your son late to class? So that was the big difference. And then I didn't really notice how big of a difference it would make on my life leading up to now, because at that time I was fitting in a new school. I was with my mom. My dad was gone, and I was trying to make a way. And when I got into college and looking into life now, I see two different sides of every person, like your choices in a sense.
Yeah.
So these young kids, I be seeing them messing up and stuff like, bro, there's a whole nother life you ain't never even seen, dog. You ain't even got to do that. But then I also see it from a point where you ain't even got noodles in your house. You ain't listening to what I'm saying.
This episode is brought to you by Monday.com. Yes, Monday.com. It is the ultimate platform that helps you streamline all your business processes. I've been using Monday.com, oh my God, probably 6+ years now, and it's made my life so much better. It automates, it speaks, it does everything you need to do to make sure that you are running your business, you're communicating with your team, and you're project managing your projects. So click the link in the description below to Monday.com so that way you can get started to automate and empower your business through this powerful platform. So now we didn't get through high school.
Mhm.
Now it's like you said before, you 2 weeks before college, and you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Yep.
So let's talk about that. Like what
All right.
like what made you choose the college that you went to
Okay.
and the major?
All right, bet. This is exactly how it went down for everybody. So I was messing up in high school. I was smoking. I was skipping like a mud. I was skipping, boy. I was skipping. I had like 19 to 20 absences, but I still had to be in the class.
Yeah.
I still had to be in the class. I was doing the work. Here's the other thing too that people don't understand. My senior year, I got a B on my English final, and my English final was a 5-paragraph essay. I was doing 5-paragraph essays in the 5th grade. So I just got a B, and I wrote that in class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had 18, 19, 20 absences, and one teacher, I wasn't even going to be able to graduate, bro. And one of the teachers was like, look, if you come to school every day the last 2 weeks, I'll change your grade from an incomplete to a B. So I did that. and I was able to graduate. You want to know what I graduated with?
3.0?
Not high school.
Huh?
Not high school. I graduated high school with 1.25. So I had to go to Mott Community College.
But you made it though.
But I made it. I went to Mott Community College for 2 semesters, and I had a 3.7. So I went. Let me see. I went summer and spring. I went summer, spring, and then I got into Eastern Michigan on time with everybody.
Got you.
That's crazy though. Nobody knows that. 1.25.
1.2.
1.25. My mom would. Boy, my mom saw that. I almost didn't graduate. My mom's an educator, bro. She was sitting on the board at Michigan Department of Education. I mean, we here now,
But
baby.
You
We here now.
You made it.
You can do anything if you take action.
All right, so I went to college, but I didn't go to college right after high school. I went to college like a little bit later because I joined the military right after college. And so what was that college experience going from high school to now college to where like you are solely independent now?
Yeah.
So how was that transition?
Well, it wasn't that bad because I messed up so bad in that last part of high school, skipping and doing everything. I pretty much did all the stuff that I was going to be doing in college then. And I had to redeem myself because everybody in my family looking at me like, bro, you like had the golden ticket in life and you just pissed it down the drain. I mean, pissed it down the drain. And when I got there, dang, you know what? Dang, I had good grades. I always had good grades when I tried. I had good grades. I was messing up, bro. Now I think about it. Dang, when I was, I was staying on campus. Oh, geez. College was fun. And I tell people now all the time, man, go to college. If you're a kid, if you can, go to college. It kind of puts a pause on life.
Yeah.
Well, let me not say just go to college. Hold on, let me take that back. I didn't know why I was really going to college. I just went because everybody else was going. And that was the next step. Because I didn't have a guidance counselor.
That's like normal, right?
And my parents both went to college.
Yeah, I get that part.
So I said, let me go. And I went there and I was focused, but then I was also unfocused too. So I don't wake up. It was hard for me back then to wake up in the morning. And I knew I was, smoking and all that type of stuff because now there's no parents. You're right. I was unhinged. I was doing a lot of things. I did have, that's how I got my first daughter, Ariel. I was wilding out in college. Oh man, I forgot. Wait, hold on.
How was that college experience? Going from high school, going to college, how was that experience?
It was the best thing. It was the best thing that I did because I also went from all that stuff from high school, switching high schools, doing all the stuff that I was doing. And then I got to college and you're like, everybody's the same age and you're young and you can mess up, right? I wasn't thinking about what I was going to do after college. I just picked a major and then I was having a lot of fun. Oh, that's what I was talking about too. All my classes were late classes. I'm telling people, if you're going to college and you can't wake up in the morning or you're going to be partying, take later classes. All my classes started at 1. I went from 1 to like 7 every day.
Got you.
So I was never late. I could always, and that's probably why my grades are so good because I could wake up early and study all the way up to the test instead of studying and going to sleep.
And what was your major?
It was education, but it ended up being business management.
Oh, okay.
And then U.S. history as a minor.
All right.
So I got to my junior year, going into my senior year. And oh boy,
Lost your
I was doing
mind.
my entrepreneurial stuff, and I mean, I always wanted to own a business. I believe.
Yeah.
So,
it was in you, huh?
It was in me. Yeah, my mom and dad wasn't happy about that, and but I paid for school. I paid for school though.
Okay. So you got through college. You graduated.
I did not get to graduate. No.
Okay. So you have not graduated college.
I have not graduated
All right,
college.
cool. So now this goes. So now we're back to where we kind of left off in the beginning, to where you said that you decided to get a bus ticket and come down to Atlanta.
So I messed up. I was selling stuff, and that's when I got in trouble.
Are you saying like pharmaceuticals?
Yes, pharmaceuticals. It's legal now. It's legal now. But I was doing that, messed up, and then I moved back, and I was like, I can't be here. And the day I moved back, like 2 days later, I caught the bus ticket to come hang out.
You moved back to where? Flint?
My mom's house, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it was like, man, I messed up all the way. And then I came down here.
All right. All right. So now you're here,
Mhm.
right? And you said you said you had 2 jobs before
Yeah.
you even got to the spot.
Mm-hmm.
You said Moe's, and there was another spot too. No, don't say Zaxby's.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like
Welcome to Moe's.
yeah, ain't
That
like
was me.
like the what is that, like a taco spot or something
Like
like
it was
that?
like, yeah, you Chipotle, you like the you
Okay,
you
got you,
going
got you, got you. So how did you manage that working those 2 jobs?
man, I worked them 2 jobs maybe like 4 weeks. Boy, what? You gotta work that long for $5, bro? Heck no. I was making money. So then I remember I was walking back. No, like the first week I was walking back. I first got my first check. I went to the Goodwill and bought a bike.
Okay.
And my homies, I was staying with the homies, and they was all laughing at me because they all had whips. And I was like, yeah, I'm tripping, bro. I don't know. So I just went to work all the time.
Yeah.
All day, riding my bike up and down. You know, they had girls over here. This dude, you riding a bike. I'm riding a bike. I ain't tripping. But it's 5 of y'all in there. I'm going to be out of here. And then like 6 months later, I was out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you did what you had to do, which
Yeah.
most people, they struggle with that.
Yeah, man. So
You know?
I don't never quit, right? And if I see something, I go tunnel vision, and it's 100% like almost like an addiction to do it.
Obsessive.
Obsessive, like a
Yeah.
mug. Like if I see something I want to do it, there's nothing you can stop me from getting it done. And I think that's how I ended up with these 4 companies.
Okay.
Like,
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
So you worked at Strip,
mm-hmm,
right, which was a New York steak spot, right?
Mhm.
And now you say you put eight years in there, right?
Mhm.
So that 8 years, I mean, you learned a lot.
Oh yeah,
You learned a lot.
that was a Thunderdome. You ain't never worked in no service. You ain't never worked in a restaurant if you ain't worked there.
So I mean, give me a little bit like what is some of the stuff that you learned? Just if you think about it, like for 8 years, what did you learn? Because that's the hospitality restaurant space, right?
First, this restaurant wasn't like no other restaurant. It was a 3-story steakhouse, sushi bar, and rooftop lounge in Atlantic Station. There was no other restaurant like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing about $60,000 to $70,000 every Friday, every Saturday in sales. That's a machine. We called it the Thunderdome because it's so busy. It's so many things going on at one time. Like you okay, like mentally you okay. You'll be in there, people shouting, high energy, loud music, big food orders, all different types of personalities. In the restaurant industry and hospitality, it's kind of like the people who really not that many of them graduated from college. It's a very volatile, very, very volatile. Like a lot of people in the service industry have addictive personalities. All right, so there's a lot of fast movements, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of alcohol, in that industry, right? And it's forever changing. So you learn how to deal with that, deal with multiple people, timing under pressure, being very consistent, being very, very efficient. If you throw one thing off, your whole section is done for like 2 hours. So your timing has to be on it. That's probably why I be on my people. So like I be on them like, bro, if you don't put this here, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. And now you're 30 minutes off at the end of the night. So I learned a lot about, I think I learned almost everything to do my business through there.
So let me ask you a question. And I when I go to restaurants, I'm way more aware of what's going on because when you got a business mind, you're looking at all the interchangeable pieces. So like, for example, when I come in, right, good restaurants, they immediately sit you at a table because they're like, hey, you are a customer, right? We need to make some revenue off that customer, right? So boom, they come in, they like bread, water, all this stuff, right? So let's say the waitress serves us, get our order, get us food stuff right there, right? So that waitress, right? Or maybe you could help me explain this. Every table, how is it getting paid? Because after I'm done eating and the waitress come, that's when a busboy come and clear it. And then, so how does it work per table when it comes to like money wise, or the business side of it all?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Today's episode is brought to you by the American Express Delta Reserve Card. It is the one card that I use for my business today. I use the card to pay for all my business expenses, my overhead, my operations, but the ultimate benefit is the rewards that come with it. You get Delta Sky Miles points. You get access to the Delta lounges within all airports that has a Delta lounge. So, if you're ready to take the ultimate step so that way you can get rewards, you're going to be spending the money anyway, go ahead and click the link in the description below so that way you can secure your American Express Delta Reserve card today.
So going back to the table.
All right, so you were correct, but a little off. So that's like a standard, I would say.
That's why you got to educate us, man. You educating us. So how does it work?
So if you go into to have the best service, if you walk into the establishment, they should have already called you and confirmed your reservation. When you walk in and you go to the host stand, they'll ask you your name, they'll get your information, and if your seat is available, they'll sit you there. If they're busy, they'll escort you to the bar to have a cocktail so that everybody gets the same amount of service that's great all the time instead of somebody being bogged down. Then when you're there, they won't make you cash out. They'll just transfer your tab to your table, and then your server will come over and greet you and go over their spiel and tell you what the specials are. And then a good server would recommend an appetizer, a salad, an appetizer, an entree, and dessert, and a pairing of wine or cocktail with each one within a couple minutes so it doesn't sound pushy, so that you know what's on the menu, but you don't really have to look at the menu. The server should be guiding you through the experience. When you get to a point where you say who takes care of the tab or the table or something like that?
The table, right? So like I paid my tab, I've eaten, I've gotten good service, whatever, and now, the bill comes and I pay it and I add a, tip or not, how how people are. Like, how is like the waitress, the bus boy, like does each table represent a revenue stream?
So yes, and it's weird now. So a lot of places are getting away from how it was. And how it was is your section and your tables, that was your money. So you tip $50 on $100, right? Or $25 on $100. Then I would keep my $25, and at the end, they'll say, hey, you got to tip out the busboy 2% of the tab. You got to tip out the bar. If you had alcohol, they go to your alcohol sales. 3% of your alcohol sales, if you got to tip out the host, which you shouldn't have to, they should be being paid accordingly, because the host is the person who is running the whole front end experience, not running the front, but your whole front end experience is the host.
Okay.
Before you get to the server, right? But everybody gets paid out of the server's tip. Every person in that building, the bartenders get tipped out of that, the barbacks get tipped out of that, the server assistants get tipped out of that, the food runners get tipped out of that, sometimes the kitchen staff get tipped out of that. So you give $25 to the server that did everything, and they have to divvy up that money to everybody else that you don't see.
Oh, really?
But also,
if I tip $20, really the waitress may walk away with 5 to 10.
Yeah, maybe about 10.
Yeah.
About 10-ish. But also, I don't care who you are, you can't do it without them. If your establishment requires all of that, you cannot do it without it. I don't care. You can say you can do it, and your service goes down. So your tip is going to go down anyway.
You say you can't do it without the waitress?
The waitress, if an establishment is running with barbacks and server assistants and all that type of stuff, you got to tip them all out. I don't care how bad you are, because I'm the dopest. All right, I started a whole company. I don't care how bad you are. You cannot do it at the top-notch quality for the shift if you don't have those people. That's why you have to tip them out.
I got you. I got you. Saying.
It's a team thing at the end of the day.
So if I tip $1,000, whatever, that's really like that $1,000 is going to the team, and they probably gonna run to the table and be like, "Thank you so much," whatever.
Well, here's the other thing. Now here's the other part. All right, you tip it $1,000, which happens. You tip $1,000, you're only giving the percentage off of what that bill was. So say the bill was $100
Yeah.
and you tipped $1,000. It's not like the bar backs get 3% of the 1,000. They get the 3% of the tip that would have been off of the 100. So they were at 3% of 25. So it would have been like $4, right?
Oh, what are you saying? So if I wanted to give a $25 tip,
then that would be equivalent to 25% or whatever.
okay. Oh,
And
25%. I see what you're saying.
Because it's 100, trying to keep the numbers like
Okay.
basic.
Got you.
But if you tipped $1,000 on it, they're not taking the money out of 1,000. They're not taking $250.
I got you.
But here's the other part is if your service is trash and they leave you with 0, then you just paid to wait that table. You still got to tip out regardless.
Okay, I got you.
So there's a saying, if you're working in like a very nice restaurant that make a lot of money,
Yeah.
if at the end of the night you ain't average 20%, if you work with my company, Relly's Hospitality, and you ain't averaging 20%, you don't need to be working with us. You're not good enough. You're not good enough if your average ain't 20%.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's something I didn't even know that. So I mean, I just learned something that
You shouldn't even have to know
everybody.
about it. It should
No,
be
I mean
like,
I mean from a if anybody out there is interested in starting a restaurant, then that's
Oh.
something good to know in your business plan to be like, here's some back end stuff.
I can't say something about that.
Yeah.
If you open up a restaurant, just pay the staff. Don't try to get it out of the servers and pimping your servers and bartenders out to pay everybody else and keeping the money. I see it so much.
Yeah.
And when I go consult restaurants, or if I'm going to consult them and they're about to open and I charge a price, they don't want to pay that price and they're trying to save as much money as possible, but then they run their business and they try in the ground and you're not going to have staff past the second week.
I mean, it sounds like everybody don't want to invest in quality for some reason.
They do not.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's the
Some people do.
number one recipe for success is just go ahead and just feel that burn in the beginning.
Boy, you're going to have to feel it.
And that's okay. All right. So now.
It just gets me. It gets me.
So now let's fast forward to now we got.
Oh.
Now we have a staff augmentation.
Yep.
What else? So we got bartending. What else?
So under Relly's Hospitality,
Uh-huh.
we staff bartenders and servers. That's the main thing. Bartenders and servers.
Anyone? Is there a niche or you just it don't matter if
don't
you
matter
need it?
what you have. So I have a database of
Uh-huh.
over 400 bartenders and servers just in the Metro Atlanta.
Wow, 400.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
in Atlanta, they love rooftops. They love events. They
look.
all white parties. They love their brunches.
And we the person that you would call.
So,
Now,
all right.
Now we are better than everybody else. Everybody stays trained up. We even have like special trainings with large brands and
Yeah.
bring in their master distillers and all that type of stuff. That's the type of staffing that we have.
So how does it work? So you just in your office, and next thing you know, a request comes in. Like how does take us through the process?
Okay, so as of right now,
I'm sorry, take us through the process, but also take us through the process on how you vet your people as well.
So as of right now, we're looking for some more sales people. As of right now, we've done such a great job over these years that we are 100% inbound. Okay, so all of our clients call us through all of our hard work over 14 years.
Okay.
You call us, and it's pretty much any event that you do. You can do a restaurant. There's just different protocols. So a restaurant, we would have to go in and see how everything is. If you have trainings already set up, then we'll match a person to go to that restaurant. If it's just a dive bar, we'll match a bartender to go to a dive bar. If it's a wedding, we'll have wedding people to go there. So a lot of people are hybrids. That's pretty much how that goes. So you call us, and we set out who goes where. There was another question in there too, though.
How do you vet people?
So how do we vet people? So we are 100% referral only. We tried one time to do a hiring. Twice. We tried twice. And it's just...
You mean hiring like
a hiring fair.
Like you put like, okay. Like
we tried it twice.
We
tried it twice, man. And it just didn't work. It just couldn't find the
so
people.
you're saying like you got like some of your current people are referring some people that they know.
They're best people though.
Got you.
So if at first it was just me picking all the people.
Yeah.
I've been in the industry. They're friends of mine. They're people that are really good, really dope. I would use them, and then we'll probably add, maybe 3 a year after that.
Yeah.
So for the past 5 years, we brought in maybe 9 people. All right, because after a while, our clientele just went to the top, and we can't just send people anywhere, and it's just continuously training the people that we have so that we're the best in the industry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty dope. Wow. So
it's crazy.
It's like you got an army of bartenders that you just deploy out there. And
pretty much.
And now that I think about it, out of all the events that I've been to, if they're serving alcohol, they got like the little temporary alcohol station, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go up and they're like, oh, what do you want? Red, white, blah, blah, we got this, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you.
Yeah, if I don't know what parties you've been to, we been at a lot of them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
a little better than that.
In that realm.
Yeah,
in
that's
that realm,
what we do.
like you are the one, and I never even thought twice to be like, I wonder who's. Usually, I'm up for like whoever's doing an event, but now I see that it's a project. You got the event coordinator.
Then
they're bringing you on. Oh, okay. So so it sounds to me like you very close with event management, event coordinators in that space as well.
Yeah, some of the event coordinators have their own people that they work with. Ours usually comes when somebody uses somebody and they don't want to use them again, or they reach out directly. We work with a lot of different people, but we haven't just tied down with one person. But another thing is why we don't work with a lot of event planners is because of our pricing. So it's harder for an event planner to work with us because of the price of our the price we have to charge for the type of people that you bring in. Their margin of profit ain't gonna be as high as just grabbing somebody over here for 50. You got a trained. Well, you in the military. You probably got a person way up here. You gonna use the same person. You know. So.
I understand it completely what you're saying. So, man, that's a dope business model. I mean, you're really like staff augmentation, and it's crazy because that's what I do in my company, Black Fox. Like one of my portfolios is like all I do is staff from engineers to IT people to historians to PA. Like I was talking to somebody. I can't remember who I was talking to. Maybe I was talking to you. I don't remember, but I was like, man, listen, I got 4 PhDs. I got.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I was like, oh.
Because because the request comes in from the client and I'm like, hey, I need a systems engineer. And I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. Let me go in the market and find you one. And hey, I'm gonna charge you $200 an hour. And I'm just hypothetically saying, $200 an hour. And I'm gonna pay this person, this per hour salary and give them all this 401k plan, all this stuff. And now we're just the broker, to make sure that they're getting the candidate. Yeah.
The broker. And if anybody else is doing it, it's not like anybody. Well, not anybody can do it. It just seems like anybody because I've just been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it, you know how we got the best people? Because we also pay correctly.
Pay correctly? Or you pay correctly? You pay nicely?
I pay nicely. I believe I pay nicely. And I pay on time.
And that comes with that quality aspect,
comes
right?
With the quality.
Yeah.
You ain't got to wait 2 weeks with us.
Yeah. Oh, so you pay right away?
Oh, yeah. If
like
I can.
That night?
So until I can't, or that morning.
Event over, you break it out
over,
the check?
you come, look, if I call you, how we keep some of the best people?
Yeah.
If I call you, 95% of the people know that if I call you, it's money on the floor.
I got you.
They gonna answer.
But that's how it's supposed to be, right?
That's how it's supposed to be, but it ain't.
Of your
people don't do it.
And your people will take care of you. Okay.
Now.
So going back, 8 years at Strip.
Yep.
And what do you think was the action move moment in that period that got you where you are today?
Well, every day I went to work for 7, it was 9 years, my bad. So 8 out of those 9 years, and this is crazy, every day I went to work, I thought I was going to get fired. The management, everybody picked on every little thing I did because I was running so efficiently. I always had time. And they used to always wonder how I'm running all these tables and then be at the highest sales with the highest tips, right? And they would just always, and I would always have time.
Yeah.
I would sit in the computer for 3 minutes, typing in somebody's order so it's perfect every time. And they were just, if you have somebody on you all the time, messing with your livelihood for that long, something's got to click. And it was like, I can't keep doing this. I need to make, oh, no, actually, it was that. Here's the biggest part. You know, I'm glad you asked that. Dang, this is crazy. So I was bartending, and I was bartending for like maybe 6 months straight, right? And for 6 months straight, I keep seeing the same people coming in tipping like $50, $100 every day. 50, 100, then they go to the next spot. And then they come back next day, yeah, we went here, da, 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 da. And I told my homeboy at the time, Chauncey, we was roommates too. He was a bartender. I said, man, it's more than this out here. He's like, what you mean? I said, bro, we living off their crumbs. And they just throwing 100 here every day.
Mm-hmm.
He done dropped $20,000 himself this year here on food, just a tip. And his friends. It's way more money out here than we see. And then I started thinking about how am I going to get it? At this time, I was already staffing people out, not even thinking it was a whole business. I'm just trying to find different ways to get the money. You get invited everywhere when you're a bartender and you dope. You get the keys to the city. You get on people's boats. You in people's houses. You in all this stuff in different conversations. And it's nothing but opportunity there. You just got to pick which one you want to do. But I don't think everybody else seen it like that.
And most people, business owners who go to the bar, they usually are talking and sharing information with the bartender.
Man,
I've done it. So, matter of fact, you know what's so crazy that you say that? Oh, man, you just hit me up. In 2021, I wasn't in the best shape of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't. But my bartender was. And I was like, hey, you know, like, man, like, what do you do? He was like, hey, I go to this gym. Matter of fact, I train. You want to just come? And so for 6 months, I trained with him and my body changed.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, great guy today. I still talk to him from time to time. This is when I lived in Columbia, Maryland.
Yeah.
And I was paying him $250 a week just to train me. He was happy about that. And he was bartending. And that's how that's crazy.
Look, man, bartending, man, it opens up the whole world to you. And if you're a bartender, you should know everything that's going on in the city. So somebody could just call you and ask you. After a while, people would just come in town, you know, or they fly in. A lot of people, I had a couple people that used to fly in from Europe all the time, and they'll come to Atlanta and they'll just hit me up, hey, what's going on? And I just had a sheet of places they could go. So he just texted me one time. I ain't asked him no questions. He just texted me one thing. I sent him a sheet of what's going on this week. I always had it set up. You know, I'm not a beautiful woman behind the bar.
Yeah.
I'm a man behind the bar. So I got to use everything I got. I stay up on current events. I know where to go. You pull up on the bartender, just like in the movies. Hey, man, you know where I can get it? Yeah, hold on, we're here.
Yeah, it's funny because like every time I go to Africa, like say I go to Senegal or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I always get an interpreter from the bartender. I'm up here like, you know anybody that speaks English and French?
Your bartender is your plug into the city.
That I can use for the week, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And man, but you know what though? You can also open up another different branch in that business model,
mm-hmm.
like not a travel guide. But you know,
a city liaison.
Yeah, but you know how you go out of country or something like that, and they got these little apps now or applications that you can book tours and stuff
mm-hmm.
like that. You could probably partner. You don't have to build out yourself, but maybe partner with one of these companies and just say, hey, let me feed you people because
mm-hmm.
they're
I was
always
trying to put one
reaching out to
together
me.
years ago though, but I'm pretty sure somebody got one now. I had that thought. Remember, I was like, you can do a bunch of things. I was thinking of these things.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. When you're a bartender, you can think of it, but you really don't have the access to it.
I got you.
You know, because a lot of us ain't finished the college. Well, maybe now because the economy is different, but it's the misfits, bro. So you got access to everything, but you don't know how to utilize the access.
I got what you're saying. It's like, you know, it's like you got the ideas, but
how you gonna find somebody got a building or somebody got the
you need that little bit of like that little that
you need
that
the structured
network.
person.
Yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying. It's kind of like, you know, building out a software, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you want in your head, but you need a software engineer or a team, a developer to really put it into.
And at the end of the day, then you need all this extra stuff. But that's but it makes you think, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but doing all of that and then having a staffing company, then rolled into the other companies that I had too. And it's just, all of it's off of hospitality And it's all from that mindset of, it seems like every time I see more, then I go for it. So
Okay.
at first I was just bartending, then I seen that these guys is making some money. Oh, there's more money out there. I got to find a way to get more money. Then you get the more and you go into another class and then you like, oh, snap, there's another level. So then you get to that level, you like, oh, okay, we here. And then you get privy to another level. I'm like, dang, then you in somebody's young black guy's mansion and he's 27 and it's $5 million. And he got 4 of them. Oh, it's another level.
Another
So
level.
then you got to go to that. And then you end up, just stuff that's been happening. So then I go to that level and then I go to New York, meet up with a friend, and we go into a building. It's like the tallest skyscraper in there. And I'm like, oh man, yeah, I've been in some condos. How much are these? Like 5 million? He just laughed at me.
Yeah.
Like when I walked in the building, I was like, dang, never have I ever just looked and been like, that's some beautiful woodwork. I walked in this building and said, man, that woodwork is crazy. We get to the top. I said, what is it, about $5 million for the penthouse? He just laughed. And then at the end, you know, I'm coming down. I say, how much? He's like, yeah, that one's 250.
Whole different level.
I'm saying, what you mean 250 what? $250 million for the penthouse. I said, it's another level? Then I started thinking, how can I get there? You can't get there by working physically. How you gonna, you can't trade time for money to own that place.
Mm-hmm.
So now, then my brain switched again. All right, I need to get another company, then I gotta get into stocks and all this other stuff to make it, because that's somebody's second home. It's not their first home. So there's another level. And I get hyper-focused on things, and that's why I just keep going. It sounds crazy, but I just be motivated.
But I mean, but it's the brilliance of the mind too, because a lot of people see it, but they don't see it. And some people see it and they go, oh, you know, let me partake in this because this is something additional that I can add to the building blocks that I have going on in life right now, which is, like you said before, start a new company or buying a company. You ain't always got to start it. You can buy a company.
True.
So I think that's pretty dope. So we got the hospitality, right? We staff all bartenders. What else we got?
Then we moved into, I wanted to give awards out for the hospitality individuals because nobody was doing that. So I started a award ceremony in 2020 to give out like best bartender, best chef, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted the trophies to be beautiful and how I would want a trophy because I never got to win any trophies outside of wrestling, right? And it's always just like a medal. So started that, and these the homies, they owned Smoky Stallion. They're like, yeah, you can use the space right before it opened. I was like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna give an award ceremony during Christmas. They're like, okay, and what else you gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna have a DJ. He's like, anything else? I was like, I'm gonna have a cocktail competition. He's like, oh, okay, sounds good. So now I got an award ceremony and I got to put on a cocktail competition and get a DJ. So I'm like, cool. So I'm like, all right. So I do that, right, the first year, and it was dope. And you know what that led to? I own the largest series cocktail competition in the United States. I swear to God.
That's dope.
On everything.
Yeah.
And it's from 2020 to now.
So when do
it's
you
crazy when I think about
when do you usually hold it?
Usually it's throughout the whole year. This year, I paused it because of World Cup and so much other stuff going on.
Okay. Competition, what is it? So the competition, so you get some of the top bartenders come together, and then they up here.
All right, go to the
break
city.
it down for me.
All right, so started here in Atlanta. I would go to bars. You know what? This is how it is now. Go to LA. I find the best bartenders I can find in LA, right? They compete. I'll cap it at like 15. Last year we had like 12 bartenders from all around LA, Metro Los Angeles. They make, so it'll be a sponsor. Last year was a whiskey sponsor, right? So they would agree and they would make a whiskey cocktail, the best whiskey cocktail that they can make. And then I have 3 judges from the city who are like prominent figures in the city.
Yeah.
They have a scoring sheet, guideline, and they get on stage. So it's not just like you're behind the bar. You have to be on stage, and then all your peers are out there because you're the main person.
Yeah.
And you make your cocktail and explain it to everybody, and then the judges taste it. Whoever has the highest score at the end, wins Mixologist of the Year, Los Angeles. So they're the best mixologists in LA. And then we fly them to Atlanta to face all the other winners from across the country.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
And,
just we're just talking about like
just like craft cocktails.
right. And then who's consuming these?
The judges, because it takes a lot to make these cocktails. So it's only 3. But when we went to Detroit, one of the people there, I think his name was Ali. He let us use his venue. He just opened up. It was downtown Detroit, and I was trying to figure out how to get other people to taste the cocktail. And I was gonna be like, well, you could pay $500 and be a 4th judge and taste all the cocktails. He was like, well, won't you just auction it off and give the money to nonprofit or charity in the city, and then people can auction off, and whoever wins the highest bid wins the cocktail. I said, I don't know if that'll work. That was one of the best things we did.
Wow.
All across the country, people donated.
What's the most somebody's ever bought for a cocktail?
I don't know. Chicago was 280. No, Atlanta, Melanie last year, the Midtown Melee 5 was the hardest competition in the city, in the country, because most of the bartenders have been doing it for a while.
500 or 5,000?
No. For that cocktail, it was Midtown Melee 5.
Okay.
She somebody bought her cocktail for $320.
So that's the most somebody's ever paid for a beverage? $320 for a alcoholic beverage. And we're talking about just an alcoholic
just one cocktail.
Glass, right?
Now you also gotta remember, you ain't never gonna taste this cocktail again. Because it's a competition cocktail.
Yeah, so it's
and she was ranked all year for 2 years.
So somebody paid $320 for the experience. That's crazy.
Yep. And then we take that money and then we donate it into that city, or for that one, it went into the Relly's Foundation, and we give back to people around the city.
All right. All right, so let's go into today, like right now. You married?
Yes.
How long you been married?
8 years.
All right, married 8 years, balancing all these companies. You got kids?
Yes.
Okay, you got kids. Like, if I was to take this action step, right, to start with, staff augmenting bartenders, like, what does your day consist of? Because now you're talking about running 4 different companies, married, kids. The one thing that I've always never used this word, that people, I don't even think people know how to use this word, but balance. There is no such thing as balance.
Mm-mm.
All right. Especially as a man, we just pull.
Mm-hmm.
We don't balance. We just pull it. So, as a CEO of all these different companies,
Mm-hmm.
and you got 400 plus,
Mm-hmm.
Bartenders that you're deploying out into the field, and, you got these other different ventures. Like what is your life like? How do you sustain yourself?
Well, gotta give it up to my wife, because she taking care of them kids. Take care of kids a lot. Now, there is no such thing as balance when you're on a quest or you're trying to do something. To me, I'm 100% in. If I ain't 100, I'm 110. How do I know when to eat? Is when I'm about to faint type stuff, So it's not literally, but so my house life, it just depends. Like, if it's busy season, then I'm not there, and she got it. But we have a conversation. It's like, look, I'm about to do this. I'm gonna need you to take care of the kids. She doesn't really like that, but she's in it. I mean, we a team, so she in it. Does it suck for her? I'm pretty sure it does. It sucks for me too. One time we even had a conversation about it, and it was like, she's like, I don't know if you understand how it feels and all this stuff. And I had to, it was a tight conversation. I had to say, you know what? I understand, but this is what you don't understand is, I'm out here doing this, and this is what every man says, right? I'm out here doing this so that we can live and we can eat and have a roof and all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. So that was just going over her head because she heard it many times.
Yeah.
So I had to put it to her like this. So you get to see Carmen Rose and TJ every day as they're growing from a baby to where they are now. For the time limits that I've been gone, I will never, ever, ever have that experience in life. So I won't remember 1 to 2, because I was out here working hard as heck to make it happen because I'm an entrepreneur. So at the end of the day, at the end, when I'm going to meet my maker and I'm going back through those memories, I'll never have the memories of the babies crying all up on me like that. That's something that you'll have for the rest of your life. That's my sacrifice. And she just started breaking. She just broke down. Like you ain't there. I don't think women ever even think about that.
Which is completely understood, right? Because
Yeah.
most people don't realize it until they experience it,
Yeah.
or it's kind of brought to light. I've had this conversation many times. Like, like, listen, y'all get to have this beautiful life. Y'all going to countries. Y'all got passports. Y'all seeing all these different things. And I said, guess what it took to get you out here? There's a lot of sacrifice. Yeah.
It's fun a little bit, but bro,
Yeah.
is it fun? It's stressful because whatever we don't kill, we don't eat.
That's correct.
I don't think anybody outside really understands it unless you're an entrepreneur. It looks like it's fun, but I work all day, every day, and when I go to sleep, I feel as though I missed something. And when I wake up, I'm trying to figure out what I'm missing and then what I got to do to get to where I need to go. That's crazy. You got to kind of be crazy. You know what? You have to be crazy. So there is no balance. What you have to do is put people in place.
Healthy crazy.
Healthy crazy.
There you go.
And you have to be able to put people in place because I guess it was something like the 4-burner. You ever heard of the 4-burner thing?
No,
so it's
I've never
like
heard of it.
the 4-burner, but only 3 of them work, right? And there's 4 burners all the time. There's 4 pots on them. So what are you gonna put on that back one? That's no light on. So whatever you put, if you put put the life on, the fun on, and the business on, or a little bit of business like travel, then there's no money. If you focusing on the money, then there's no life. You know what I'm saying? It's something like that. But it's 2. It's 4 burners, 2 are off and 2 are on. So which 2 are you gonna manage?
Yeah.
And something's gonna get cold. And for a lot of people, and like me, at this point, I have a strong wife that's taking care of the family. I know it takes a toll on her, but we had a conversation and we in here because at the end of the day, the goal is, with me, once we already had the kids, it ain't about us. It's about longevity and our legacy. I mean, it's still about me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I like to have a little fun. Okay, I get expensive things, but still, that's what it is.
And it's like, would you look at it and say, like, it's just that first generation entrepreneur that most people don't talk about? It's always that one, right?
The one that gets there.
That one, right? And then 4 generations later,
they just eating.
Everybody else is good, but they don't realize that 4 generations ago, somebody sacrificed a whole lot.
Sacrificed the whole life. And then don't do it all, and then your kids don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Ooh. But if they do, they already have everything. Like, your kids just watch everything that you do. So
the blueprint.
Yeah. And then it's already instilled in them, like 2nd generation, I don't know, whatever they used to call them, carpenters back in the day and stuff like that. Their skills are there because that's what they're around the whole time. So it's going to do nothing but get better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first generation entrepreneur stuff. And you don't know. Like, all the stuff I didn't know anything because there was nobody else doing it. So a lot of stuff I pioneered through.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was getting mad. Some people were doing what I was doing and getting there a lot faster. I was talking to my dad on the phone about it. He said the illest stuff, bro. He said,
put us on game.
He said, you can't get mad at how fast somebody drive down the road just because you built it. I said, what? Oh, how long does it take to build a road? Oh, it take a long time to build a road, but people can fly down that thing on 150 miles an hour and be done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, wow. He be dropping some gems on me.
Yeah.
He got me one time about my pricing. Oh man, he told me up. He's like, okay, so why you price this? I told him. He's like, well, what's your competitors? I told him. He was like, but why? He just kept saying, but why? And then he tore it all up, like ate the whole business structure, everything up. And he thought I was going, he actually said, you know what? After that, I was like, dang, I need to call him. I think I was a little too hard. I think he might quit. He's like, I'm glad you didn't. Because after that, everything was way different.
But isn't that beautiful as a father? How you
Oh, yeah.
can, how fathers can do that,
Mhm.
right? Course correct people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I appreciate that, providing that action move that led you to where you are today. Isn't that crazy?
That's a lot. I ain't never thought about it. I just do it.
Well, listen, man, I deeply appreciate you coming on and sharing your journey with my subscribers and other people who's going to pick this up. If there's one thing that you can lead the people with today, what would be that one thing? One simple advice that you would tell people that you learned on your journey that can help them get there that can accelerate them to get to where you are today. That one thing.
I would say whatever you start, just finish it. Just start it. And then when you just start it, just finish it. That's it. That's it.
Y'all heard it from Mr. Terrill Patterson, entrepreneur, staff augments and bartenders across the nation. If you start it, you better finish it. Once again, it's your guy Fox Wade here with Action Moves. Thank y'all so much for listening in. I'll see y'all on the next journey.
Those eyes, man.